If you want a tactile way to experience a piece of history, then playing an ancient board game that's been around for thousands of years is a great way to do it. These printable boards available on the Map Effects website are all hand-drawn, so they feel like they came out of a field journal off an archaeological dig, because we all know that games are at least 23% more fun if they at least look cool. Your PDF download will include the board itself, the playing pieces, as well as instructions on how to play. All you have to do is cut out the pieces, and with a little bit of folding and glue, you can start playing with all your family and friends. Here's one of the games available on the Map Effects website called The Royal Game of Ur, which is an ancient Sumerian board game. This game was popular across the Middle East for thousands of years, so if you ever wondered how an ancient Egyptian or Hebrew or Assyrian spent their free time, they may have been playing this. But what we're here for today are the paper pieces and the dice that are included in the download. And I'm going to grab a pair of scissors. This may seem obvious, but the first thing that I like to do is just cut these into smaller, more manageable sections. Toss that to the side, and then I'll divide up these different dice real quickly. And then you can also come in here and just quickly separate all of these. When it comes to cutting the pieces out, I kind of like to cut these ends off first before cutting the curved section in the middle. So just cut straight across like that. I'll rotate it. Just cut like that. And then all you have to do is just follow along these lines as best you can. I actually played around with a few different designs for the pieces on how to fold them and how to put them together, but this seemed to be the easiest one that I discovered. There we go. I'll just set those to the side for now. And then it's just a matter of trying to fold the piece just along this seam here. So I kind of like to try to pre-bend it a little bit on my finger, and then just try to line it up just right on that line. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, and if you need to, you can also try to line up the base of this a little bit until you can get it flat. And that's basically all you have to do to fold one of the pieces. And the dice are a little bit trickier, but you end up with a really cool three-dimensional shape once you are all done, and it really rolls just like a normal tetrahedral dice would, which is pretty cool. So I like to just kind of start here at the base, and I'll just cut up, just remove a section, then just cut straight across. And then I will usually angle my scissors here rather than cutting that section off, just because it's not very large. But then just continue to follow the line all the way around. And then as far as folding goes, I actually have kind of figured out that it's really helpful to have a sharp edge that you can kind of use as a bit of a guide instead of trying to do all of this by hand, especially if you kind of have larger hands like I do. So all I like to do is just find a sharp edge, and then we're going to fold on each one of these seams here to get the shape of our dice. And just do that to just kind of start the fold, and just rotate it. And just press it down part way just to make sure everything is all lined up all the way across. Okay, and then once you have that, you can just come back in here and just finish the fold. Just make sure it has a pretty good crease on it. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And now this board really comes in handy for folding over these flaps here because they're so small. But this is actually what you're going to apply glue to so that the dice holds together. So they are important to have on there. So just do the same thing and overlap it a little bit and then just fold it down. And this one you can press a little bit harder just to make sure that that crease is good. And you can kind of fold it up a little bit so that it makes a bit of a corner. Just make sure that these are folded nice. Get this out of the way. And then you can just grab whatever type of glue you want to use. I'm just using a regular glue stick. And you just want to make sure that you apply the glue pretty good. Make sure that it's on there and covering all the surfaces of the paper. You just want to add some glue to these little flaps here. Okay, set that to the side. Now you want to hold it like this and try to fold all the sides up at the same time. And make sure those flaps are on the inside. Hopefully you can see that. See how they're all on the inside? And then you just want to pinch each one of these corners just to make sure that the glue is contacting the other side of the paper. And fortunately, this glue seems to stick pretty quickly, but you just want to hold this for a minute or two just to let it set up a little bit before moving on to the next one. And that's really all there is to it. You just need to repeat that process for the rest of the pieces and the dice, and you can start playing your first game of the Royal Game of Ur, or whichever game that you choose to download. If you want to pick up a board of your own, just visit the Map Effects shop, and I hope you have fun playing.